Now let's look at the life and times of Nigeria's former Vice President Alex Ekwueme, who just died.
Alex Ekwueme was the first elected Vice President of Nigeria, serving under Shehu Shagari from 1979 to 1983. That government was cut short by a military coup. Ekwueme earned a bachelor's degree in architecture and city planning from the University of Washington before obtaining his master's degree in urban planning. One of Nigeria's most educated politicians, Ekwueme also earned degrees in sociology, history, philosophy, and law from the University of London. He got a PhD in architecture from the University of Strathclyde before gaining the BL Honours degree from the Nigerian Law School. Ekwueme took part in the Nigerian National Constitutional Conference in Abuja, where he proposed a just and equitable power-sharing system in Nigeria based on the 6 geopolitical zones. He was instrumental to the formation of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), mobilizing the group of 34 eminent Nigerians who risked their lives to stand up against military dictatorship in the late 1990s. That group transformed to the party, and he served as the PDP's founding chairman and the first chairman of its board of trustees. He contested the 1999 presidential election, but lost the PDP's primary to Olusegun Obasanjo, who later became president.
All right, that's the a brief understanding of who the man is, but we are here now to talk about him and his contribution generally so people can understand him better. We have in the studio social commentator Biodun Showme joining us right now. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to have you join us.
I'm pleased to be here.
Now, Dr. Alex Ekwueme is a man so many people would refer to him as a perfect gentleman who didn't have scandals around him, who was an exemplary leader in so many areas. However, a lot of people said that he still wasn't able to galvanize the whole of the Southeast into a compact body when it comes to politics for it to be that formidable. What do you say?
Alex Ekwueme did his best when he was alive. He was a man of great intellect, successful businessman, and the first Igbo man to hold the highest office at that level, of vice presidency in Nigeria. When he came in, when he was elected the vice president, the first major task he embarked on was to integrate the Igbos into the mainstream Nigerian politics, and then to combat the sense of isolation. So what he did was he went on a bit to reconcile the Southeast, the aggrieved Igbos, with the Nigerian Federation by bringing in, negotiating Ojukwu to be back in Nigeria. And he brought in Ojukwu. Ojukwu ended up in his party rather than the Azikiwe-led NPP. At the time. So, and that was significant because so many people who believed in Ojukwu, actually joined his party at that point in time. And he not only did that, he went as far as the 1995 Constitutional Conference when Abacha was there, despite the fact that he was opposed to military rule. Again, he felt there was a need to tackle the sense of isolation, sense of marginalization, pervading the country at that time, because the whole of the South felt, marginalized by the Abacha's regime. And what he did was to propose, the 6-zone structure, with a view, with powers, presidential powers also rotating, presidential law rotating among the 6 zones. This was approved, by the conference, by the Abacha Confab, although it didn't make it into the constitution, but eventually that is the basis upon today's discussion in Nigeria. Exactly. And not only that, the political parties, even the country, although not in the constitution, operates on the basis of the 6-zone structure. Ekwueme, again, when he made his bid for to be the president in 1999, he was rejected by his party, the PDP, in favor of the retired General Olusegun Obasanjo. Ekwueme resisted the lure of office. He was offered so many posts, he refused, and he decided to go back, and found the Ekwueme Foundation to work for the poor, the underprivileged, and the marginalized, economically marginalized people in the Southeast. So he has done a lot, for the Southeast people. Very decent politician, not self-centered, focused on integration, focused on national unity,
Indeed.
and focused on eliminating poverty amongst the Igbo people.
We could leave you to just go on and on about him, and that's how great the man was when he was alive. And let's look at the suggestion he made, which, like you said, though not in the Constitution, but now is on the basis of how political operations are being engineered in Nigeria at this time, how that has helped. And it's quite interesting, I don't want to say sad, that it took the death of this man now for many Nigerians to recall, to be saying this at this time, excuse me, that he was the author of the zoning formula, which of course not in the Constitution, but now somehow working for Nigeria politically. Yeah,
but when you look at it, like the Shakespearean sayings goes, the evil that men do, lives after them, but the good is often interred in their bones. In the case of Ekwueme, that's the reverse, because suddenly people now realize that this man has made an enormous contribution. If you look at the dailies today, one of the major politicians, a former governor, even went as far as saying Nigerians should stop mourning. They had the opportunity to elect this man, they chose not to. Precisely, James Ibori. I was trying to, so when you actually look at that, it means people now suddenly woke up. It was just like the case of Awolowo, when Babangida was forced to say that Awolowo was a president Nigeria never had. So in the cases of these great people, what you see is that the goods are not interred in their bones. The goods are on heart after their death, after their demise, which is quite tragic, because politics play major role in suppressing those goods, to ensure that they are not electable, while they play on the evil ones. And at the end of the day, like they say, the good will always prevail at the end of the day. So for me, rather than saying we are mourning Ekwueme, we should be celebrating Ekwueme, because he has laid a basis, for future negotiations. People are talking about restructuring now. They're talking about it on the basis of the six-zonal structure proposed by Ekwueme and accepted by the 1995 confab, and has formed the basis of power rotation in Nigeria till now, even amongst the political parties. Even the federal government talks in terms of 6 geopolitical zones, with nobody crediting him for it when he was alive.
Even development now are talked based on the geopolitical zone.
Precisely, including allocation of resources. So when you begin to look at that, I think the man should be celebrated. And it should be a lesson to all of us that we should keep, allowing politics to get into the way of celebrating achievers. This man was a great man. He worked in Seattle. He founded the first architectural firm in Nigeria, Ekwueme Associates Architect and Town Planner. This man, was a former chair of Nigeria Institute of Architects. He also sat on their governing council as chairman. So rather than us, at a point he had offices all over Nigeria. He was the biggest architectural firm. Nobody remembered all that about Ekwueme when he was alive. Nobody celebrated him. That's tragic. We need to change our attitude towards our leaders.
All right. Now, Dr. Alex Ekwueme was one of the only leaders who have had about 6 different degrees so far, being a very intellectual man. But
one of the most educated.
If we have to play a scenario out, would he have made maybe one of the best presidents in Nigeria if he was given that opportunity?
We don't know, because Nigeria is a very complex country with complex challenges. No matter who you are, you can be an anti-corruptionist, but are you going to remanufacture yourself? Are you not going to work with other Nigerians? So to find people of similar like minds won't be easy, because politics will also come into it, and then you face the reality of political office. So we don't know what would have happened if Ekwueme had emerged as the presidential candidate of PDP in 1999. But what is certain is that the sense of marginalization, being felt by the Igbos would probably not be there. Probably we would have a situation where the Igbos would feel that, yes, we have been fully integrated, but that may be the elite, but it might not necessarily affect the fortunes, of the poor people, because we've seen that with the issue of South-South when Jonathan became the president. How did Jonathan presidency affected the lives of ordinary people? So that's a different matter. It's only the elites that are in the South-South that are no longer crying about marginalization. You only have, you know, the very downtrodden people now saying that, look, we've been economically marginalized, not politically marginalized, economically. So we may have had a situation, if Ekwueme had been able to get there, of Southeast not talking about political marginalization as being amplified by IPOP through Nnamdi Kanu. You know, then people talking about economic marginalization.
All right, let's look at this man, and of course, his interest in politics. Somehow, some would say that he wasn't really a politician at that, because after he lost the ticket to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, he somehow made a silent withdrawal from national politics in the country. Instead, he dedicated his time to, like you said earlier, helping the less privileged in the country. So what lesson really can one learn that if you don't have to be in politics to serve the people?
Yes, he didn't see politics as a do or die affair. He felt appalled by what was going on at a point that he chose to concentrate his entire life working for other people through his Ekwueme Foundation. He resisted so many offers, you know, to head national agencies and all that. He chose not to do that. He felt, well, he's done enough. He had done enough, and he needed, you know, to help the downtrodden people. For me, I felt Ekwueme had a lofty dream of uplifting the living standards of people in different parts of the country. But when he was not able to actualize his dream of being the president, so he decided to go into his community, you know, to the Igbo community, started his foundation, and then try and help the poor.
All right, we just have a few just about 1-2 minutes now to go. But how should he be immortalized? It's one thing people have been saying, immortalize him, especially the Federal Polytechnic Oko, where he comes from, and his brother is the ruler, the traditional ruler of that place, and all of that. But how else can he be immortalized for Nigerians to know?
Well, I think the ideals, what he represented, should be the biggest step to be taken. For instance, Ekwueme believed so much in the unity of the country. He believed in the integration of all the regions, because he was not thinking about Southeast alone. All the regions create a sense of justice, you know, a sense of equity and fairness. And that is what we can remember Ekwueme for. We now need to look at the structure, you know, as proposed by Ekwueme, the six-zonal structure. How do we ensure that at least the sense of political marginalization will disappear in the country in a way that an Igbo man can be president, a South-South or Southeast or Southwest or Northwest or Northeast can be president, so that we take away that problem away from it. Some people have said restructuring is the solution, and on the basis of the six-zonal structure, you know, recommended and accepted by the Abacha Conference. So I think if we go back to that, we would have succeeded in immortalizing.
All right, remember what he stood for, yes, and do the needful. Thank you for your analysis at this time. Abiodun Showunmi, a social commentator. Thank you for looking at the live.